Well, hello, everybody. This is Mike Kilgore coming from 3i Supply, Ninja Power Soft Wash, and Easy Nano Seal. I know that we were just a little bit late, but I don't know who to blame, but I'm going to find someone to blame, but more than likely it was me. So anyway, we've got a bunch of people on here. We've got Adam Fisher, we've got Steve Sabella, I've got a bunch of other people in here that have joined in with us. So we are doing this live. And what we really wanted to try to accomplish today is to talk a little bit more about the training event that's coming up. And we have Jay from SEK. Hey, Jay, how are you?
Good evening. How you doing, everybody?
Good. And then we've got Mike Kilgore, which is also known as Senior with 3i Supply.
Good evening.
Well,
Good to see you all, I guess.
Glad you could join us from all the way down the street. So
yes,
that's always good. Jay, where are you at right now?
I'm actually just crossed over the border into Ohio, doing some trainings this week in the Pittsburgh market.
Okay, so you're right inside of Pittsburgh. Now, where were you at this last weekend?
We actually were attending H&A in Louisville.
Okay.
At the week there. Great turnout, great show. If you've never been, well worth your time to invest in the GIE Expo.
That's great. That's great. Well, one of the things that I want to talk about, and Jay we've got a really good event that's planned for us here. And I wanted to talk about why we are doing this event. And it's really important for education with 3i Supply and why we have so many people that want to be a part of this education event. I'll tell you, we've got some great people that have signed up. We're up to around 40 people so far. So this is going to be big enough to be big, but small enough to still be intimate and be able to spend some one-on-one time with each other. So I want to talk about the event itself in general, and then talk about what it is that we're going to be teaching. I have looked at a bunch of your training events, but we can expand a little bit more on that. So the event itself, to give you kind of an overview with everything, is November the 16th, 17th, and 18th. That's going to be in November. Now, the 16th is when we're going to have a little bit of a social for those people that are not coming in from out of town, and those ones, it's just that evening. We're going to have a couple of cocktails or so. But the actual training is going to be that 16th and the 17th. Now, I'm kind of reading through all this information. It's on the website. If you go to 3isupply.net, right at the top is a link that will go into it and talk about the classes and the education. So what I'd like to do is kind of do just a blanket throw to Jay first, and then I'm going to give it over to Mike Sr. because he's going to be teaching, him as well as myself a little bit, three very important sales classes that we think that everyone's going to really enjoy. So Jay, tell us kind of an overview of the training and the certification event. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
yeah.
So how we
have
this TKA doing our training, we
we
have
have
certified program, call it our basic, entry level, if you will, and we kind of cover the basics in terms of cleaning, sealing, joint stabilization, just really what would you do in hardscape restoration. It's really kind of what that's about. And then because of this opportunity in Florida, we're also going to attach onto that our advanced class, and we go into some of the bidding and marketing, kind of advanced stain removal. You've arranged for an on-site demo, a pad of pavers that can actually do live and not just talk about it, but do the demos, on an actual project. And then we also do demos throughout the class as well. So it's a very engaging, format. You're not going to just sit, in your seats and listen to us drone on. You'll be able to get involved and ask all kind of questions.
Well, And that's good, because I think that hands-on is the most important part. I'm going to turn off this. Got something making some noise over here. I think that's really important. And some of the things that we're going to cover in that event is going to be success with liquid and dry joint stabilization, of wet sanding versus dry sanding. Also information on the use of polymeric sand uses, because you guys have a phenomenal product in your polymeric sand lines, and a lot of people really do enjoy those polymeric sands, as well as how to score a 10 in hardscape cleaning and sealing beautiful hardscapes. So the cleaning aspect, can you tell me a little bit more about the talking of the cleaning aspect?
Sure. I know everybody likes to ask about the sealers and that, but we need a clean, dry surface to start with. So cleaning is very important to that. We discuss, different types of stain identification. I mean, you really have to know what the stain is, and then you go after it with the proper, liquid tool, which is how I refer to cleaners. They are tools for a contractor. And like many of you, that's what I used to be, was a contractor. So we approach it from a very practical standpoint. What are the tools we need? What are the processes? We go into dwell time and different types of dilutions and different tools along those lines that you can employ to be able to clean those stains safely. So not only remove the stain, but do it without damaging the substrate. There is no success if I remove the stain, but I actually damage the substrate that we're doing the cleaning on. So we teach all of those good techniques. And believe it or not, how do I do it and make money? Anybody like to make money? I do.
Me.
Sure does too. So yeah.
My dad likes it too when we make money. That's it's kind of a really good hand in hand. Um, and what's important is, I think that having somebody that, how many courses would you say, taking a wild guess over the duration, and you can sum up duration, how many training events have you done? Just take a guess.
Oh gosh, I've been training for what seems like a long time, but I really do enjoy it, and that's the other thing that I hope to bring to this occasion is my passion for this industry. I have probably done somewhere in the neighborhood of probably 500 to 600 trainings in my short career, if you will. I am just a young guy, as you see.
No.
Golden Locks are a proof of that, So. Um, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. But I am not a typical speaker. I am actually fairly introvert. But this particular subject really gets me going. I am passionate about the hardscape industry and our niche of the market, if you will, of hardscape restoration. So I'm really excited to be able to get involved with this.
That's great. Well, I can tell you the people that I've had a chance to work with, and my history, which a lot of people know, and my father's history is we started off with Easy Nano Seal. At that point, we started to expand our relationships with selling Easy Nano Seal, concrete sealing, and moving into sealing itself, using products all the way from Uraseal to Seal and Lock to all the different variations. So we haven't been on just one, but I'll tell you, as a whole, we really have enjoyed not only the SEK Surebond family, the group of people, and I can't talk enough about the support and the group of people through Surebond with any of the questions that we've ever had, and the support structure that is available for contractors above and beyond this training event. And it's amazing that you have that type of support available for these contractors.
Right. It's not enough to, I mean, I am very fortunate to work for a company that produces some great tools. And notice how I refer to these products. they're tools. I mean, they are a tool for a contractor. But I'm very fortunate to work for that, and we follow that up with, just like you say, some knowledge. We give you some training, but that training continues through our service aspect. You can reach any one of our service reps, throughout the U.S. You can talk to me. I'm the director of technical and training for our company, and you get a live answer. We don't shy away from the tough questions, if you will. Our job is to keep you out of the weeds, and again, this opportunity is one way of doing that.
That's important. And we were talking today, my father and I, and we were talking about this, and I'll have you kind of chime in a little bit, Dad. We talked about what it's like when we hear people talking about events. And we had this conversation this morning, and I'll let my father kind of take the role with this, but I'm going to lead it up and tee it up so that he can hit a long drive with it. One of the things that we found is that when people come to an event, they believe that they have to learn absolutely everything, and their heads just explode with information because the stress is there. What was it that we talked about a little bit today, Dad, about the retention and the support?
Well, I think the thing I got the most out of our conversation was that if you go to an event and you have to take home all of the information, you walk away with so much information, you hardly can remember how to use any of it. And you become somewhat fearful in trying to use it because you can't remember all of the details. And I think what we came up with today is we want people to come to our session, learn the key ingredients, feel comfortable with that information, and then go home. And if they have a list of 10 things that they say, out of that session, I've got 10 things I really want to do. Don't do a little bit of all 10 of them. Pick one and do it. If you don't remember all the parts, that's perfectly fine. Give us a call and we'll help you through it. Now, you all know that Mike's expertise is in knowing how to do this business. He's learned it the hard way, and he's had a lot of you that have helped educate him. And when it comes to product knowledge and how to apply it, Mike just knows it. Not me. A few of you have talked to me and found that out. But when it comes to sales and marketing, Mike is very good at that too. But I'm 72 years old, and I've been a salesman since I was 10 years old. So when it comes to marketing and sales, you can ring my phone, and I'll help you be able to improve the marketability and your sales aspect to make more money. Did that okay, Mike?
Yep. And what we found out is that the stress level of coming to an event and trying to learn absolutely everything is the fear that you may not have the support afterwards. What we want you to do, and a lot of people can attest to this, I'm not going to call out names, but a lot of people can attest to this, that they're standing on a job, they're looking down at the concrete, they're looking down at the pavers, they don't know exactly what they're seeing, they don't know what's happening here, and they don't know what to do next. So they pick up the phone and they give me a call. I may not answer it right then and there, but 9 times out of 10, I sure try.
Well, and I can add to that one other thing, Mike, is that oftentimes they're trying an SEK product for the very first time, and they've talked with you or they've talked with me, and they have it in their head what they're supposed to do. But when it comes time to open that bucket and start spraying, they all of a sudden go, well, maybe I didn't get it all. I mean, we had 3 calls today from people who are getting ready to install their product, and they just wanted some reassurance that they were doing the right steps in the right order. So that happens a lot.
And that comes down to the 3 I's, which we developed, which is insightful, innovative, and interested. And that's what makes that available there. Now, Jay, and then we're going to come back to your classes, Father, Dad.
Sure.
Jay, this event is really geared towards, I believe, 2 types of people. And it really covers all of the contractors. You have the do-it-yourself guy, or you have your new person that's saying, I've been doing pressure washing. I started getting more and more requests for sealing, And at first someone said, would you be willing to seal my driveway? No, I don't do sealing. I just do pressure washing. But then I got 2 requests this week. I got 3 requests this week. I got 6 requests this week for sealing driveways. I guess I should probably reach out to somebody and find out how to do that.
Right.
So this event, I believe, and I'll let you expand on this, has a mixture of advanced techniques, advanced cleaning, as well as those guys and girls that are just starting in paver sealing. Is that right?
Absolutely. There's something for everyone. I know that's maybe a little bit cliche, but if you're a beginner, a newbie, if you will, and you described it very well, you're kind of timidly tipping your toe in the water here, we'll help you with that. This is not rocket science. There certainly is science, but I would like to describe it more as rock science, if you will. It's most of this is pretty basic stuff. We are going to give you the tools necessary, and I think you guys are spot on with this. Having done a lot of training myself, and I'm a student of the industry as well. I attend lots of interesting events and training opportunities in that. In fact, I was at one of Seniors events in New Orleans a couple years ago, and you're right. There's a lot of information, and as a presenter, I'm just as guilty as anybody else. I want to give you everything that I know. I have that much passion for what I'm trying to do, but as a receiver of that information, you have to be willing to accept it. And again, I think you guys are spot on. It's the continuing support and service, that's important. Like you guys, we are the same way. I'm the same way. You can call me up. You can text me. You can email me. We've got this funny thing in the corner in our office that's called a fax machine. I don't know if anybody knows how to do that anymore, right? But we FaceTime. I get to job sites all over the country via FaceTime, and we do that a lot. So again, bring it. We love to answer questions, like to help.
Well, what I want to do is I want to go through kind of the itinerary, and then when I get to these certain parts, I want to have Senior talk about the 3 sales classes, because I think it's not only as important to know how to clean, to know how to sand, to know how to seal, but to also be supported in the aspect of how to sell more jobs. I've gotten phone calls from a few people that have said, look, I know how to clean, sand, and seal, but my gosh, I'm getting beaten up by the 65-cent guy. I'm getting beat up by the 55-cent guy. I don't know how to sell this process. And I'll tell you, with Surebond, there's some really interesting stuff. They have done a really fantastic job of giving you these TDS, these technical data sheets that are just clean enough. And I say the word sexy enough, and I'm going to say it. They're sexy enough that when you give them to a customer, when you give them, they have just enough technical information and direct information that any type of customer can feel comfortable looking at that information and knowing that they are getting the best product available. And so when I talk about doing this event, it's going to start very easily on, it's going to start on November the 14th. And that's the optional social. We got a little place called the Hennessy Bar and Grill. I'm going to have a few Coke cocktails and some social time. This is for the people that may be flying in or want to come over the night before to get up and get going the next day. It's very, very casual, simple, say hello, high fives, all the good stuff there. But then on November the 15th, that's when the fun's going to begin. Now we're going to start off cleaning right at the get-go. Going to have a little continental breakfast at 8 a.m. It's included. And then we're going to start the cleaning and sealing education classes from 9 to 12 o'clock. So this is an opportunity to where we're not going to go into the details, but we're going to show the processes just enough so that when we get into the education, it's going to make a lot more sense. We're going to do some oil remover, maybe some effluent remover, do some FLO, do some sure clean, just a little bit of everything, getting stuff prepped and cleaned. So we'll have a rig that's there, getting things all cleaned up. And then some of the education classes. Now, this is where I'm going to throw over because it's just going to be how this bobs and weaves together. But we have 3 classes that we're going to be teaching. And I think it's important that we talk about these. I'm going to let Senior talk about these classes and make sure that we kind of briefly invite people about them. Are you ready to talk about those?
Sure.
The 3 classes are how to charge the most and get it, the sales process of using our magic bag, and he's going to talk about the magic bag. But one of the ones that I think is the most exciting is how to set realistic expectations with customers without losing the sale. Too many people are afraid to set the keyword realistic expectations and are afraid by setting realistic expectations we're going to lose the sale. But we're going to show you how to do that and get the sale. So tell us a little bit more.
Well, why don't we start off at first? I want to add another part. There is going to be a time during the session where I'm going to do a full sales presentation. We're going to have 2 people and they're going to pretend to be a husband and wife. And I'm going through the complete presentation that I use so that you'll be able to see exactly how I make a presentation. And I do make almost all the presentations with Easy Nano Seal. So let's start with setting realistic expectations or false expectations. And before we sat down tonight, I kind of made a few lists. So I'm going to kind of stick along with that. First of all, we have false expectations. That means that our buyers just expect the pavers of heaven to be on their patio in the back, and that's just never going to happen. The second thing is that we want to make sure that the story we're going to tell is not a story that we can't deliver. So first of all, we have a diametrically opposed picture, and that is the customer has a picture in their head before they call us of what they're looking for. And sometimes we think it's the complex picture that we have, when sometimes it's nothing more than I'm just sick and tired of picking weeds. They really haven't given any thought to new sand, how they blend together, enhancing the color of their pavers, protecting against water damage. All they're saying is I'm sick and tired of picking those weeds out of my pavers. So the easiest way to find out what their expectation is when you show up and you've gone through the getting to know you stage, is just say, well, tell me, why did you call us? And just give an open-ended question. And they'll tell you, and then you can take that and expand on it. But when we talk about false expectations, that means that the customer has in their mind an end product that they expect to materialize. And we're saying if they have false expectations, that means that the picture they have in their head is not going to equal the picture of what we're going to deliver. So the easiest way to get close to the customer's picture is to make sure that you're offering the very best product applied with the very best service. The closer you come to their expectations, the less likely you're going to have an unhappy client that's going to say, this is not what I expected to get. That's point number 2. Point number 2, part number 2 that we're going to cover in the presentation is the greater the sacrifice made by the customer, the higher their expectations are going to be. Now that seems kind of obvious, but we find that the people who have made great sacrifices have taken out of their family budget to be able to get their pavers cleaned and sealed and looking great, have the highest expectations simply because the money that they're giving hurts their budget. So look when you're there to make sure and get some idea as to what kind of a sacrifice those people are making to be able to have you do their work on their pavers. The last is how to identify the perfectionist. There's no, I don't know, Mike, maybe you'll agree, but there's no one that'll cause you more torment than to have hired than to take a job from a perfectionist and not know it until it's too late.
There is no doubt about it. We have spent multiple hours identifying the perfectionist.
So our idea is when we get to the presentation, we're going to talk about how we come to know the client and the questions that we're going to ask to help us identify the perfectionist. And believe me, when you think you've identified a perfectionist and you really don't need the business, you want to price the price per square foot at about $6.50 a square foot. You have to make absolutely certain you're not going to get the job.
Where do I sign?
So those are the three items I wanted to cover in regards to false expectation. Now, am I supposed to go over to the other two, Mike?
Yes.
Okay, the next one is called the magic bag. Well, my wife calls it something else. She calls it my Amway paver sealing bag. And this is it right here. And so the most important thing that we want to know is that we have a professional presentation. And it's taken, Mike helped some, and I've built on it and I've changed it until I finally got it down to a bag that I carry that makes me look like a professional the minute I step onto their property, but I have almost everything in the bag I'm going to need. Now, I'm not going to cover everything tonight, but I'm going to cover a few things that are in the bag. And then we're going to talk about sales just a minute. So first of all, this is my bag, and inside it are the different colors of sand that we offer. Now, all of the people who are in the business, now I didn't say they are competitors because they're not. We don't have any competitors in our market. We just have other people in the business. Now, we have all 6 different kinds of sands, and we're able to put those sands down. All of our other people in the business only have one, the white. So this separates us from all of the other people in the business and justifies us in getting a higher price. Another thing we'll find in the bag is our stable SB 8700. I put this sample down. I don't know if the people in the business who are coming to give competitive bids have figured it out or not, but if I were them, I'd be looking around for the sneaking evidence that I've already been there, because I put sealer down on every presentation. They will come and say, well, I'm going to do a really good job, and it's going to look really good. But I realize that really good in my head and really good in my client's head may not be the same picture. And I tell them that. And I said, I'm not going to come and just tell you it's good. We're going to put some sealer down, and I'm going to go, that's what you're going to get. And that solves a lot of false expectations. And I just use the 8700, even though we offer several other of the Surebond products that we can use at the same time. And over here, we have stripper. You'd be surprised how many times I show up and there's already old stripper, or there's efflorescence on the pavers. And I don't know, maybe you're better at it than I am, but sometimes I can't tell the difference. So in addition to that, over here, I have my F-Flow Surebond. And so I will put these down, and I know that if I put the F-Flow down and it foams all up, I know I'm dealing with F-Flow. If nothing happens, I know I'm dealing with old stripper. And I talk about the process of stripping and give the options. And you'll see how I do that in my presentation when I do the whole presentation. I think that's about all we're going to cover for tonight. But we'll be able to show you how to construct your own bag if you'd like when you get home. Let's see now the sales ideas. First of all, we know that an awful lot of people in our industry just hate sales. They may not admit it, but they really do. And let's talk just a second about why people hate sales. It's because they hate sales. They started hating sales. And when you hate something, you don't tend to do very much of it. And if you don't learn to do it and you don't do very much of it, you never get good at it. And how in the world can you do anything but hate what you don't do very well? So the concept is if you don't like sales, then let's learn to do some simple steps in learning how to do sales better. And in that fact, a little bit at a time, You'll learn how to do sales well, and pretty soon, guess what? You'll learn to like it. After all, it is what drives the train. Let's see. The last part, let's see. We're also going to be talking about effective marketing. We're going to talk about advertising and how to manage your scheduling. We're going to be able to talk about that. That pretty much covers the sales and the marketing, the magic bag. Now, high price. How to get the highest price? Well, let me start with just 5 points. One is you can't be desperate. If you're desperate for money, you're always going to cave. No matter how high you price the product, you're going to be afraid you're going to lose the deal, and you got to put beans on the table, and you're going to cave. So the main component you have to have in getting the highest price is you have to have plenty of business so you can afford to price and lose deals. The second is that you have to have business that you can turn down. You have to realize that your mortality rate of the presentations that you make are going to increase in percentage the higher price you make. So you have to have more presentations so you can lose more presentations, so you can close more presentations at higher prices. Am I doing okay here, Mike?
Yep.
Okay. You must work in ways in which you eliminate your competition, the other people that are in the business. If you're using advertising to where your competition and other people in the business are also competing and they're getting the same leads as you are, if you're not capable of showing your prospects the phenomenally better service that they're getting from you, if you can't make that dramatic difference, then it's just going to turn into a price war. So you need to be able to find ways, and we're going to talk about it in our training class, of how to use advertising and marketing where you are the only person using that medium. So you end up in having no competition. Let's see, most elements. Let's see, what's my last one here? First impressions. We're going to talk about all of the parts of the sales presentation. First impression. What is the first impression of the person? The actual sales presentation, and then the close. Mike and I talked about that today. Sometimes we feel like we have to be a used car salesman or at a carnival hawking people to throw balls at and win a Cupid doll. But the bottom line is that you really don't need to have a strong closure. We just simply say, would you mind if we moved ahead to put you in our schedule? And the answer is yes or no. If it's yes, we do. And if the answer is no, we say, what is your strategy to coming to a decision so that we can fit in and help you with that process? And that's as strong-armed as we get. So we're going to talk about the first impression. And the first impression is very important, because if they like you right off, they're going to tend to like everything you say. If they are uncomfortable with you or don't trust you, they're going to continue those behaviors all the way through. So we're going to spend time on how to make sure that you're delivering an excellent first impression. I think I've run out of material, Mike.
Well, we've got a lot more material, but we're not going to share it today. I can tell you that.
That's what I meant.
Well, Jay, is there anything else that you would like to add? And then I'm going to try to summarize this up and see if we can't put this together. We are going to give away I'm going to give away, I said on here that I would give away a free bucket of Sealer of Choice. But I would like Jay to if you wouldn't mind, we talked about this a little bit before. There is a thing that we are adding into this training, which is going to be concrete sealing. I tell you, I get more phone calls. I get plenty of them for paver sealing. But I can tell you the number one add-on that people call me for the years and years that we've been doing Easy Nano Seal. And as you are going to see, a lot of people that I've been talking to, I have been moving them from Easy Nano Seal to the product line of Surebond. Surebond has 3 types of products that are like Easy Nano Seal. And I'll tell you, this hurts. I don't like saying it. It makes me uncomfortable saying it, but I am going to say it. And I'm sure Jay's wondering what I'm going to say.
I'm bracing myself.
I am bracing himself. I have made Easy Nano Seal. We had made Easy Nano Seal about 3 years ago. Fantastic, fantastic product. But back then, it was the color TV of sealants for concrete. Back then, sealants for concrete were all just coatings over the top of concrete, and Easy Nano Seal was the color TV. After sealing it for a while, using Surebond 4000, 4400, and 5000, I was able to look at some of the things that a lot of contractors are not able to see. And when I looked at that, my reaction went to, oh my gracious, this is the 5K high definition curved flat screen TV of concrete sealing. Surebond 4400 is the real deal in concrete sealing. It is the most advanced concrete sealing product that I have seen since I started Easy Nano Seal. Now I had a choice. Do I continue to sell the same formula that I had with Easy Nano Seal, or do I provide the best product that I believe is on the market so that my customers have the best? And I truly, by looking you straight in the eye, is telling you that I believe that you cannot find a better product for sealing concrete than using one of 3 products. Surebond 4000, which is a water base, Surebond 4400, which is a water base or is a solvent base, which is phenomenal, and Surebond 5000. So we are going to be doing concrete sealing while we're there. We have a concrete pad that we're going to also seal too. But I would like for Jay to talk just briefly about those 3 products, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure, absolutely. I think you're spot on with your observation, and thank you for that glowing, endorsement of that. Those 3 products are absolutely suited to the concrete industry: flat work concrete, gray broom finish concrete, stamped concrete, whatever the form of that flat work is. They work out fantastically. When we talk about sealer selection, we talk about customers' expectation, and you guys are spot on with this about educating our customers, expectation. When it comes to flat concrete work, though, some folks are a little astray as far as what their expectation is. So it's nice to know that there are some good products out there that we can get them back on course with. Easy to install, they can be profitable, they're going to meet their expectation, in most cases exceed that expectation. There are some great products to be able to use and very contractor friendly. So I'm excited to be able to add that to our program and expand our offering there. Let's keep in mind that, a lot of times we're being called out to go to the backyard. We're being called out to do a hardscape restoration, perhaps in the back patio, that outdoor kitchen, the portico, whatever the case might be. Don't forget to look at what you're walking up to the residence or the business at. A lot of times it's a gray broom finish concrete sidewalk or the gray driveway. Those are potential sources of income and revenue streams. So Mike, I'm really excited that we're going to be able to explore that opportunity as well.
Mike, do you mind if I jump in for just a second?
Go ahead.
We're getting close to winter, and our friends up in the north, their season's starting getting slower and slower before too soon. We've got a couple of hard months yet. But they need to be looking now at winterizing buildings, not only not only concrete slabs, where you can put this on a slab and you're not losing any traction, but you're protecting your concrete against the degradation, but to also look at buildings. I mean, even here in Florida last year, we did a large brand new municipal building with this product, and it's breathable, which means that the building's going to be able to breathe in and out, but water cannot blow through the concrete and gather inside the wall and cause mildew and mold. So it's really important that that our friends up north look at the closing days and say, waterproofing has the attention. All you have to do is offer the product.
Well, and
I think, Senior, you're absolutely right. It's a undiscovered or underutilized, if you will, revenue stream. I think you're spot on. Good point.
now I've got a question that came in, and I have Bob Spotz that just kind of put this question up there. It said, "Have you ever had issues with discoloring of concrete, specifically with the 4400, the 4000, and the 5000?" There are a lot of different products that are out, and I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but this is such an important question that is asked all the time about discoloration of concrete. Have you had, I can't say, overall, but is this are they primarily an invisible sealer?
Correct. All three of those products, 4000, 4400, and 5000, are intended by design to be invisible. 4000 and 4400 are a two penetrating sealer. Their job is to go deep down into that surface, protect from down in those valleys as opposed to the mountaintops. 5000 is a little different product. It's not a true penetrating sealer, but it acts a lot like a penetrating sealer. And our name on 5000 is called the stain blocker. So it's really targeting both water and oil-based stains. And we'll absolutely go into that in the class and show some demos. I think Mike has said that he might even have a little red wine that we could spill on there. So we're gonna make use of that as well, and we'll see how this does. So
it'll be very little spilt wine. I can guarantee you that.
Okay. But yes, absolutely. Does it discolor? No, they're intended to be invisible. Can it? Sure. It's possible, and I don't know if I would call it discolor, but more, it's possible to perhaps darken that surface slightly. But it's so subtle, I don't think anybody's going to notice. And if the color means that discoloration in terms of turning it an off color or something like that, no, that is not the design nor the end result of those three sealers.
Good. Well, that is something that I'm very passionate. That's what we started off in. We started off with the Easy Nano Seal, and I tell you, we are now selling the Surebond products, and I have to believe, from what I saw and the way in which I use these products, the way in which I've tested these products, I had a choice. I had a choice to stay with Easy Nano Seal, and because we make good money at it. It is a business part of it's a model of our business to make really good money. But I had to choose, do we sell another product at lower margins, but still provide the best that's out there? So my testament of saying we are willing to not sell Easy Nano Seal, but to sell Surebond 4000, 4400, and 5000 is a chance that we have to take to make sure that our customers are getting the best product out there. So we're willing to take less to make sure that we provide our contractors with the best. I know it sounds very cheesy, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
So,
and the nice thing too, Mike, is that we provide sample bottles and things like that. And for you folks that are attending this training opportunity, you'll get a full set of sample bottles. So we believe in trying before you buy it. Take it home, try it out. Everybody has, some form of hardscape to be able to clean and seal. Let's make you a believer. Again, try it out, see what you think.
So I'm going to try to bring this thing back around. Basically, it's $75 to register. It's $75 to register. I'm going to say this loud. It's $75 to register, but I do not want your money. That's not the point. The point is not your money. I want you to commit to coming. I want you to let us know that you are coming. You can go to 3i Supply. You can scroll down and you'll see the Surebond Training Certification course, and you can register. We've extended the early registration to the end of the month through October 31st because of this event here. After the 31st, the registration is going to go to $125. Now, what are you getting for the $75? Because I know there's a lot of people that don't want to come if they have to pay. I understand that. If they don't have to pay, then that's great. I can't tell you how much money I've spent over the past 3 years in training. Unbelievable amounts. But if I were able to pay $75, I would. You're going to get 5 meals out of it. You're going to get 2 breakfasts, a lunch or 2 lunches, and a dinner. And the dinner is going to be at the Tampa Bay Brew House. Really, really good food. So we're going to have a dinner there. Also, you're going to get a $75 gift certificate to 3i Supply. Again, I don't want your money. I want you to learn. I want you guys to really be able to get this information, but I want you to commit to coming so we know who's showing up. Okay. On top of that, Surebond is going to also give you guys sample packages of the products that we discuss. So you're going to be able to get some 4,400, get some 4,000, get some 7,700, some 8,700, some 1,300. And I know these are a bunch of numbers, but these are things that we're going to talk about, from natural sealant to enhancing sealant to joint stabilization to stone enhancement, all the way to concrete sealing, water-based, solvent-based, from strippers to EFLO to SureClean. These are the things that you're going to get to be able to have so that you can walk away with a little bit of product and a whole lot of knowledge. That's our goal. Okay? So get online, get registered. It's $75 per person between now and the end of the month. And we really are looking forward to having you guys be there. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to have a lot of laughs. We're going to have a lot of entertainment. But more important, you're going to walk away with a really good knowledge. And you're going to be Surebond certified. That's going to be something that's going to allow you to be able to say, I have taken the training course. I have met the requirements to be able to be Surebond certified. Now, I'm going to ask one more question. I did okay in high school. I did okay in college.
Yeah.
Now look.
He forgot I was online.
I forgot my dad was online. He's the one that saw my grades. But I had people that asked me all the time, what would happen if I go through all this and I can't pass the test? I tell them, I don't believe this is a college entry SAT, ACT entrance exam. I think it's basically on a knowledge exam to make sure that you've retained some. Could you expand on just a little bit and maybe set some ease of the Princeton college entrance exam to become Surebond certified?
It's pretty simple and straightforward. I will go out on a limb here and say that between the 3 of us, they will have everything they need to pass that test just by attending these 2 days and then some. Like you started out saying, we're going to give you all kinds of information, but it doesn't stop just with this training. It continues on.
That's true. Well, good. Well, you know, fellas, I can't thank you guys enough for taking some time out of Monday night. Yes.
Let me add one thing in. Sometimes we forget. We have friends. You guys that are listening tonight have friends all over the country. Why don't you call some of your friends up and say, hey, come on, meet us in Tampa.
Yeah, meet us in Tampa. Let's learn how to add on some paver sealing. Let's add some concrete sealing. But more
Make
important,
more money.
Let's make more money. Let's make more money. And we want to be there for you. So thank you guys for everybody joining in. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Senior. Thank you for being a part of this. Give us a call. You can call us at any time, 727-388-4969. That's 727-388-4969. Visit us on the website. That's number 3, the letter I, supply.net. You can go down, register online, and we really do look forward to seeing you guys in Tampa. We hope that this little get-together gave you a little bit of basic information about our training event, and we really do hope to see you here in Tampa. So thank you, guys. You guys have a good evening.
Good night.